This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Wednesday morning, Savannah Marshall, how are you?
Good, I'm really good.
Long drive down to see you.
I know.
Early start?
Feeling my pain. This is why I never go back home anymore. Too far.
First of all, thanks for letting me come down. It's the business end of camp. How's it been going the last few weeks?
Tough. Really, really tough. Fight week can't come quick enough.
Can I start with the obvious one? You responded very politely to Claressa's outburst last week. She threw a few accusations your way. You want her medals. What was it you want? You want her belts, you want her medals. You want to be her and you wish you were black. Any comment on that?
Yeah, if I was Claressa Shields, the first thing I'd do is I'd hoy that necklace straight in the bin. It's the first improvement I'd make, among many.
You press her buttons, don't you? That's what it seems to be.
I think so, but I think it's a personality, and I think she's quite fiery anyway. It doesn't matter who you are.
When you've met ringside, both at Cardiff and in Newcastle, you've been quite calm and collected, and she's gone from 0 to 100. Is that how you think the fight might go in a strange way? Like, you know, she'll get involved in a scrap with you. She'll try and trade with you. I
think she'd do that anyway. I think she's going to come and I think she's going to try sit on my chest because she's going to have to. You know, I've got longer arms than her, so she's going to have to make it messy, come sit on my chest, and that's what I'm training for.
Obviously, with Peter here down in Congleton, the experts would say that it's a puncher versus a boxer. It's not as simple as that. But has Peter got anything up his sleeve for you in regards to this fight specifically?
No, not really. To be honest, every camp with Pete is different. I know it might not look like to most people, but every camp he's slightly changed my style. He's got me, you know, coming forward in some fights, fighting on the back foot, things like that. Every fight camp's different. It's never the same, and this is no different.
And what's your argument to those that say it is puncher versus a boxer?
Everyone's entitled to an opinion, aren't they? I'm not really interested in what anyone's got to say. I know I can box, I know I can punch, I know I can fight on the inside. I'm quite confident that Peter's equipped me with every tool that I'm going to need to win this fight.
At the press conference, she was given at large, saying that there's no way you're going to touch her. The only thing you've got to punch. You beat her when she was 17. She's the greatest woman of all time. Basically, she's ultra confident. Why should people believe Claressa Shields and not Savannah Marshall?
People don't have to believe anyone. Like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion. She's entitled to hers, I'm entitled to mine. We're both very different boxers, very different attributes, very different people, and this is what makes this fight exciting. Like I said, people saying it's the puncher versus the boxer. Do you know, I can also box. I believe she can punch. I just believe that she's never been taught how to punch properly. Yeah, people can believe whatever they want to believe. We're just going to have to wait till September the 10th.
You've called her pillow fists a few times. Do you think she'll have been able to have been taught how to punch by September 10th?
I'd like to think she'd be able to learn how to punch properly, but 12 fights, she hasn't progressed very well, has she?
I'll stay neutral. If you tag her once though in 10 rounds, that's game over, isn't it? Surely to goodness. That's what current opinion is. She can't run for 20 minutes basically.
Maybe not, no. But I believe I do hurt Claressa Shields, and I believe I will.
And you told her that at the press conference to her face, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
What's that like, standing right next to her when she's giving it large back to you? Because you're a quiet girl, and I'm assuming you have to come out of your shell to give it a large back to her. What's it like?
It's the same rubbish. She's been saying the same stuff for years, so it's nothing new to me. I know her very well. I've known her for a long time. She's known me. She probably knows me the back of my hand. I knew what she was going to come out with, but I'd love for her just to spring something on me, you know, just surprise me. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope she comes out with, a decent one-liner or something like that.
Have you got any one-liners up your sleeve?
Plenty.
Can I talk about the card in general? It's going down as a historic card because it's the first card all women fighters. Is that something that makes you proud, or is that something that you'd rather it not be historic for that reason, because women boxers are boxers?
Bit of both. Yeah, women boxers are boxers, and I'd like it to be, there's a brilliant card on Saturday night, not, there's one of them women's cards on. I'm not a fan of women's boxing, I'll not watch that. Do you know? But hopefully it'll get there one day. But I think Sky Sports are massively promoting women's sport in general, like after the football. Do you know? So it's great to have a company behind you like that really support women in sport.
I know I've interviewed Adam Smith plenty of times, and he's proper championed you on a personal level as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I've known Adam for about 10 years now. 10 years. Yes, I've known Adam a long time.
The O2, it's expected to sell out. First question is, are you excited by that, and what's it going to feel like to headline the O2 in front of all those mainly British fans?
Can't wait. So about 3 years ago, I boxed at the O2, and it was on the Lomachenko Campbell card, and I was on about 8 o'clock, and it was just amazing to be part of it. But now I'm headlining. 3 years it stuck me.
Do you know if you're coming out first or second?
I'll be coming out first, and rightly so. She's got, for the majority of the belts, I've only got one, so I wouldn't expect anything less.
Is there any disappointment it's not up in Newcastle?
A little bit, but a lot of people are travelling, which I'm over the moon with. I think it's great because it's expensive. It's really expensive. The ticket prices and train and travel on top and hotels. So I'm honoured that people are actually spending the money to come watch me fight.
Can I ask if there's anything in Claressa not wanting it at Newcastle? Because we interviewed her when she first came into the arena, and she was quite positive. I mean, she said some pretty horrible things about you, but she was quite positive about Newcastle. And then all of a sudden it wasn't Newcastle, and there was rumours that it's because the fans had got where she didn't like it at all. Is there anything in that, or was it just the fact the O2's bigger?
I think that's what it was, yeah. She didn't want to go back to Newcastle. I don't blame her because she got tortured, but it's her own fault. Do you know what I mean? You can't talk about people or talk to people and say the things you say without repercussions. And I don't think she thought anyone would travel, but they have.
Yeah, she's going to get a Geordie welcome down in London anyway, isn't she?
She will, 100%.
If you win, I'll have to stay neutral. If you win, is there a rematch clause?
I was under the impression there wasn't, but she's saying that there is. Well, that's brilliant news.
So beat her twice?
Beat her twice, beat her 3 times.
If there is a rematch clause and you hold all the cards, all the belts, would you push for it to be back up our neck of the woods?
Well, originally there was talks of it being at St James's Park. I think that it was actually scheduled in, but there was only one date available, and I think it was in June, and it was too close to my last fight in April. And then I tried to get it in September, and it was because of the season had started, so it was a no-go. So I'd love to have it at St James's Park.
Is there a rematch clause if Claressa wins?
Yeah. Well, this is what I've been told. Whether or not it's true, I can't believe a word she says.
Presumably, though, if you give her a proper good eye, and she ain't going to want to do that twice.
She won't, no. She won't.
You still will meet April Hunters on the card. We've got Georgia O'Connor on the card. Canny North Eastern contingent down there.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad they're both on the card. There's some other good girls on the card. Lauren Price is on. Claressa and Stahl. So they've done well, actually. They've done really well. Obviously, Michaela May, Alicia Baumgarten is on.
That's a cracking chief support, isn't it?
Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that one.
Can you give us a winner in the chief support?
Well, my old trainer when I was in America is actually Alicia's trainer now. So I haven't seen him for about 4 years. So I'm really looking forward to meeting up with him and catching with him. And I think it's a case of, look, Alicia can whack. We've seen it. And I believe that Michaela's got the skills to outbox anyone, really. So it's a really good fight, and they've got a bit of beef as well. It always makes it a little bit fighty.
on the night it's going to get the crowd proper going for when you two come in the ring.
Yeah, it really will. It really will. I do think they've really propped the card to really advocate women's boxing.
And if you win, is there anything planned up North East to celebrate? Open top tour bus, or have Hartlepool get in touch, getting you on the pitch again?
I'm actually doing a thing next week with Jeff Stelling on Tuesday, at Pools. I was like, midweek, coming out for Saturday. But he does the soccer Gillette thing, doesn't he? So, yeah, it has to be Tuesday.
Can I ask you about a couple of fights in the men's division? CONOR, BENN, EUBANK was announced last night. Your thoughts on that one?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I think the promo for it is great as well. The way the poster looks with the dads at the bottom. I think Conor's really explosive. I really like Conor. And I know a lot of people are writing him off, but I think he's fast, he's explosive, and I think if he gets to Chris early, maybe he gets it. USYK
too, repeat or revenge?
Well, I've seen a couple of videos of USYK and he looks massive, absolutely massive, and then I think it was his agility, his speed that beat, and obviously his boxing ability that beat Joshua last time. So I'm thinking, why would you change anything? But look, maybe he's put on a bit more size, maybe he's punching him a little bit harder, maybe he's hoping to get AJ out this time.
Last one on you. Can you break down the fight for us? How it goes in an ideal world for Savannah Marshall on September the 10th?
Savannah Marshall, undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
That's all that needs to be said.
Very, very last one. Do you have a message for Claressa?
I hope you're training hard. 5 weeks to go. Can't wait.
Brilliant. Savannah Marshall, I always appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to your training.
Cheers, Steve.